31 days of Halloween, 31 horror films to send chills down your spine.
I know that, Mr. Man.
October 1st, 2025, the first movie we're talking about for 31 days of Halloween, Misery from 1990. This movie has a 91% tomato meter and a 90% popcorn meter on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.8 on IMDb. With a $20 million budget, it made $61.3 million worldwide in the theaters. Plot of the movie is a writer who is tired of being pigeonholed and writing the same thing over and over and over, wants to get a break, which is a very sentimental story to Stephen King, the writer of the book in 1987, as he felt the same thing. The inspiration for the story came when he woke up on an airplane to the person next to him leaning over him, staring at him, and said, "I'm your biggest fan." Rob Reiner got the job as the director, and he got the rights to the movie from Stephen King because he did a wonderful job with Stephen King's novel, Stand By Me. And Rob Reiner also was pigeonholed a little bit after All in the Family. They wanted him to do a spin-off. He wanted to go in another direction, but he was pretty much in the same situation that Stephen King was, just in a different art form. It is reported that Stephen King sold the rights to Castle Rock and Rob Reiner on the condition that Rob Reiner would direct or produce, and it's reported that he sold it for $1. This is a fantastic movie. It is very well written, and even better, the acting performances put in this movie are fantastic. It's an incredible film. There are no dialogue dumps. The story slowly builds over time, but you're always given the information that you need to follow the story, and it's not forcing anything on you. It is very well written. The story starts out where Kathy Bates' character, Annie, seems very helpful, but it slowly develops a little bit of crazy, a little bit more crazy, a little bit of crazy, a little bit more crazy before she goes completely nuts. The score to this movie is fantastic, and the score accompaniments, they really only have the score hit when she's starting to go a little crazy. It's pretty much silent through the whole film unless she gets a little bit nuts. The score was perfectly laid into this movie. Kathy Bates puts up a wonderful performance in her role as Annie. She won an Academy Award for Best Actress in 1990 because of this performance. But for me, James Caan steals the show. And obviously, he's playing off of Kathy Bates. He doesn't have much dialogue. There's not many lines for him in this movie. All of his acting is his facial expressions, the fear, the emotions that you can feel by what he portrays on his face. I don't know if he studied in front of a mirror, but he does a fantastic job of letting you know. Like the first little freak out that she has, his face lets you know he realizes he's in a very uncomfortable situation and not safe at all. I'm giving Misery a 9 out of 10 on the must-watch meter. I think this is a great movie. It's not that much of a horror movie, so pretty much everyone should watch this. There are a couple brutal scenes, but it's not that much of a horror movie. It's more of a thriller, I think. I love horror movies, so maybe it is a little bit if you're squeamish. But this is a 9 out of 10 on the must-watch meter. You should watch this movie. For our Halloween scoring for the 31 movies over the next 31 days to get you ready for Halloween, we're going to give this a 2 out of 5 on the jump scare meter. There are a couple jump scares in it. We're going to give it a 3 out of 5 on the chills factor, goosebumps rating, 3 out of 5. And our gore rating, it's not that gory, but there are a couple squeamish scenes. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 on the gore meter. Top 5 interesting facts about Misery. Bette Midler turned down the role that Kathy Bates took as Annie. She later called herself stupid for that decision. Interesting fact number 4. Rob Reiner at the time had only really directed This Is Spinal Tap and Stand By Me. So he watched and studied Alfred Hitchcock movies thoroughly before directing this film so he could get the pacing and the rhythms and the storytelling of a horror film. Interesting fact number 3. Kathy Bates was a theater actress. James Caan was a movie actor. Kathy Bates wanted to rehearse constantly, and James Caan never wanted to rehearse, causing a little bit of friction between them on set, but they met in the middle and rehearsed a little. Interesting fact number 2. James Caan had to stay in bed for 15 weeks during shooting of Misery. And interesting fact number 1 for the movie Misery, in the book that Stephen King wrote, Annie chops his foot off. Rob Reiner thought that was a little too harsh. He didn't want to lose the audience, and he didn't want the audience to hate Annie. So he changed the story a little bit and made it the hobbling scene that we all know and love today. Now, my personal story about the movie Misery is I watched this with my grandmother. I watched a lot of horror movies with my grandmother. My grandmother was a huge Stephen King fan. She had a library full of his books. She read him and a lot of nonfiction stories about serial killers. She would let me watch a lot of horror movies when I was probably way too young. We watched Hellraiser, Chucky series, we watched Misery, Shining, and I'm not talking like 16, 13, I'm talking like 8 years old. So much so that when I was a kid and back home at my parents' house, I would go upstairs into the attic. I had to walk up saying, Chucky isn't real, Chucky isn't real, Chucky isn't real, Chucky isn't real. Now, this is a Scream Factory release of the movie Misery, so of course we're going to talk about some special features. 1, I've got the slipcover, and 2, in Scream Factory fashion, they have the alternate art displayed, or you can go with the classic art. For special features, this thing has quite a few, however, half of them are pointless. 3 documentaries that are about 30 minutes long that were quite good, however, and a 15-minute documentary with the musical composer for the score of the movie, which was good. He's a little neurotic. But it's got 5 other little featurettes that are about 6 minutes long, and they're all about what to do if you're being stalked, which I don't need that information. No one's fucking stalking this guy. Like, really? Who would stalk me? Misery is a fantastic film. 9 out of 10 on the must-watch meter. You should give it a go.